What if I told you there's a country where tree-climbing lions roam the wild, where waterfalls roar with the force of gods, and where street food is so good it has its own festival? Welcome to Uganda, Africa's most surprising secret. Let's uncover 20 mind-blowing facts you won't believe are real. Number 15. Where men can marry many wives legally. In Uganda, polygamy isn't just legal, it's respected in many rural areas as a traditional practice tied to legacy, leadership, and community status. Take Musa Hasaya Kasera, a 70-year-old man with 12 wives and 102 children. He married his first in 1971 and simply added more as his business grew. His household? A village compound where the entire family lives together and holds weekly family meetings like a small corporation. Then there's Salongo Habib Sazigu, who made headlines by marrying 7 women in a single ceremony, including a pair of twin sisters. The wedding featured 40 cars, 30 motorcycles, and a guest list that included the entire village. While urban Uganda leans toward modern monogamy, polygamy remains deeply rooted in rural life. Here, it's not just about romance, it's about legacy, community, and the capacity to provide. Number 14. The mountain tribe that sings to the wind. High in the misty peaks of southwestern Uganda, the Bikiga people live in villages so remote they can only be reached by climbing for hours along steep cliffs. Here, electricity, internet, and even cell phones don't exist. But what fills the air is something far more magical: singing. The Bikiga are known as the cliff-dwelling singers of the forest. They don't sing for applause. They sing to call loved ones home, to express joy, to mourn, and even to propose marriage. In fact, here, if a young man climbs a mountain and sings his love from the ridge, and she sings back, it means yes. No rings, no diamonds, just pure, ancient music. Even children are taught to sing before they learn to farm. Farming here isn't easy. They till steep terraced hillsides with hand tools, but they've created a remarkably sustainable mountain agriculture system. Number 13. The fish bladders that made Uganda a $1 million star. It may sound bizarre, but one of Uganda's most valuable exports is something most people throw away: fish bladders. Known as ma, these air-filled sacks are harvested from tilapia in Lake Victoria, Africa's largest freshwater lake. While they might look useless in China, fish bladders are considered a delicacy, believed to boost beauty, bone strength, and vitality. A single kilogram can fetch up to $1,200, more expensive than many cuts of American steak. Uganda now exports over 6,000 tons of fish bladders every year, turning this odd organ into a multi-million-dollar industry. Thousands of Ugandans are employed in this booming business, from fish farmers to exporters, making it one of the country's most surprising success stories. It's proof that value isn't always visible. Sometimes, it's hidden deep inside. Number 12. Uganda becomes the first African nation to build its own electric car. Who says electric cars only come from Silicon Valley or China? In a stunning achievement, Uganda has become the first African country to build a homegrown electric vehicle. It's called the Kira EV, a sleek 2-seater created by students and professors at Makerere University, one of Africa's top institutions. The car reaches speeds of up to 124 kilometers per hour and charges from a regular household plug. No fancy charging stations required. It takes just 4 hours to fully charge and can travel over 50 miles on a single cycle. With a price tag around $10,000, it's a fraction of the cost of most American EVs. But the ambitions don't stop there. Uganda is already working on a Kira electric bus, a smart move, since 70% of Ugandans depend on public transport. If successful, Uganda could lead Africa's clean tech revolution, proving that innovation has no borders, and neither does brilliance. Number 11. The African country that welcomes refugees like family. In a world where many countries shut their doors to refugees, Uganda quietly leads with compassion. With over 1.5 million refugees, Uganda is the top refugee hosting country in Africa and one of the most welcoming nations on earth. What makes Uganda different? Instead of camps and fences, refugees here are given plots of land to farm, access to schools, and even the right to work. They are treated not as burdens, but as neighbors, workers, and friends. According to the United Nations, 86% of these refugees are women and children, many of whom fled war in South Sudan, the DRC, and Somalia. When civil war erupted in South Sudan, Uganda's refugee population surged by over 700,000 in just 1 year, the equivalent of one U.S. city absorbing the entire population of another overnight. Number 10. The jungle sanctuary of the world's rarest gorillas. Tucked deep in Uganda's mountainous rainforest lies one of the most mystical places on Earth, Windy Impenetrable National Park, a land so thick with vegetation it's remained virtually untouched for over 25,000 years. But this isn't just a forest. It's the last refuge of the mountain gorilla, the largest and most endangered primate on the planet. Over 400 gorillas live here, making up nearly half the entire world's population. This UNESCO World Heritage Site holds a biodiversity density twice that of the Amazon, and a heartbeat you can feel in the mist. Here, there are no collars or chips. Each gorilla is identified by its unique nose print, just like a human fingerprint. While U.S. zoos spend over $5 million a year to care for captive gorillas, the ones in Bwindi live free, wild, and possibly happier than most celebrities. This is more than a safari. It's a journey back in time, to a world where giants still walk among us. Number 9. Lake Victoria. Africa's ocean in disguise. Stretching across Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, Lake Victoria isn't just a lake, it's a living ocean in the heart of Africa. Covering 26,600 square miles, it's the largest tropical lake on Earth and holds enough fresh water to supply every person in the U.S. for a full century. Its waters feed millions and yield over 200,000 pounds of Nile tilapia daily, powering one of the world's busiest fishing industries. But beneath the calm surface lies a darker story. Over 500 native fish species have gone extinct, largely due to the introduction of the invasive Nile perch in the 1950s. And yes, 2 nations have fought over this island. Curious? Drop a comment with number 5 if you want to hear that wild story. Number 8. A coffee powerhouse that loves tea. Uganda sits right on the equator's coffee belt, producing some of the finest Robusta coffee in the world. It's Africa's largest exporter of Robusta and supplies 7% of the global market, raking in hundreds of millions of dollars annually. And yet, most Ugandans don't even drink coffee. They drink tea, locally known as chai. Across markets, homes, and roadside stalls, metal kettles boil with black tea, condensed milk, and fresh ginger, served piping hot even in 85 degrees Fahrenheit heat. Drinking tea here is more than a habit. It's a ritual. It brings people together, slows down time, and turns strangers into friends. So while Uganda powers the world with its coffee, it nourishes its soul with a steaming cup of chai. Number 7. The golden soil of Africa. If Africa were a vast green garden, then Uganda would be its most fertile patch. Thanks to year-round mild weather, generous rainfall, and volcanic soil as rich as flour, nearly 70% of Ugandans work in agriculture, not out of necessity, but out of choice. Bananas, tea, coffee, vanilla, pineapples, you name it, Uganda grows it. Not only does the country feed itself, it also supplies neighboring nations and supports entire regional economies. This abundance has helped cut rural poverty significantly, turning Uganda into a symbol of hope, food security, and sustainability. In a world shaken by food shortages and climate anxiety, Uganda reminds us, where the land is honored and the hands that till it are strong, there will always be life. Number 6. Wamala Hill. The sacred summit where no one dares to lie. Just 10 miles outside Kampala lies a hill cloaked in legend and reverence. Wamala Hill, one of Uganda's most sacred spiritual sites. Steeped in history and deeply tied to the Buganda kingdom, this hill is the burial place of Kabaka Suuna II, a 19th-century king said to have had over 100 wives. But what truly makes this place extraordinary is not just its royal past. It's the power of truth said to reside at its peak. According to local legend, no lie can survive on Wamala Hill. Speak a falsehood at the summit, and you might lose your voice, stumble unexpectedly, or be struck with a strange dizziness. The hill, they say, reveals what's hidden and silences deceit. In Uganda, places like Wamala Hill aren't just cultural relics. They're living temples of memory, morality, and tradition, reminding people that truth isn't just a virtue. It's sacred. Number 5. Kampala, Africa's most livable hidden gem. If Africa had a city where past and present dance together in harmony, it would be Kampala, Uganda's capital and soul. Built across 7 hills like Rome, Kampala doesn't impress with ancient colosseums, but with colorful markets, smiling faces, and the heartbeat of modern African life. Forget the honking chaos of New York or the gray rush of Tokyo. Here, mornings begin with the scent of fresh chapati, the beat of school drums, and sweet chai sipped slowly from metal cups. Locals ride boda-bodas, motorbike taxis that zigzag through traffic like magic carpets, while vendors shout greetings and school kids wave to strangers. No one's in a hurry, because life here is lived, not chased. From Kasubi Hill, where royal tombs whisper tales of kings long gone, to sunsets that melt into Lake Victoria, Kampala paints memories that feel more like dreams. Whether you're from across the street or across the ocean, this city will make you feel like you've arrived home. Number 4. Uganda, the untamed heart of Africa. Few places on earth offer as much wild beauty in one country as Uganda. Here, you can watch tree-climbing lions in Ishasha by sunrise, and by afternoon, paddle through the roaring whitewater rapids of the Nile. In the west, the Rwenzori Mountains, nicknamed the Mountains of the Moon, rise above the clouds. Despite lying near the equator, their peaks are capped with glaciers over 16,000 feet high, surrounded by mossy forests that feel straight out of a fantasy film. Nearby, Murchison Falls delivers a breathtaking force of nature as the Nile is squeezed through a gap just 20 feet wide, creating one of the world's most powerful waterfalls. Want wildlife? Lake Maboro National Park is home to giraffes, hippos, zebras, and is the only place in Uganda to see wild impalas. Or head to Queen Elizabeth National Park, where over 600 bird species live, more than in the entire United Kingdom. Uganda doesn't just show you nature, it dares you to live inside it. Number 3. A nation that lives to celebrate. In Uganda, every day feels like a festival. From tribal ceremonies to global music events, this country is home to some of Africa's most colorful and meaningful celebrations. Take Nile Festival, East Africa's largest electronic music gathering. Every year, tens of thousands of revelers from over 30 countries flood the banks of the Nile in Jinja for 4 days of dancing, music, and cultural exchange. But not all festivals are about sound systems and DJs. In the East, the Mbalu festival of the Bigisu tribe marks a boy's passage into manhood through ancient rituals, warrior dances, and a community-wide celebration of identity. From harvest parties to rain season dances, Uganda doesn't wait for a reason to celebrate, it creates one. Here, joy is tradition. Music is everywhere, and connection is everything. Number 2. The cost of living that might change your life. What if you could live in a warm, vibrant country for less than $900 a month without giving up comfort? In Kampala, Uganda's capital, a furnished one-bedroom apartment in a safe neighborhood costs about $350/month. Utilities add around $60, and fast internet just $30. Fresh fruit, vegetables, and market staples for a week? Between $20 and $40. The full meal out? Often just $6 to $10. Local transport with Matatu's minibuses is under $1, or you can hop on a boda-boda, a motorcycle taxi, for quick trips. Even health and wellness are budget-friendly. A gym pass? Around $30/month. A dental cleaning? As low as $25. Compared to the US or Europe, Living in Uganda can be 70 to 80% cheaper. But the real treasure, a slower, more grounded life, where community matters and sunshine is free. Would you consider making this your home away from home? Comment 1 for yes, 0 for no. Number 1. The soul of Uganda. Its food. Forget Michelin stars. Uganda's food culture delivers something even more powerful: comfort, richness, and soul. The national dish is matoke, green bananas, steamed and mashed, then simmered in banana leaves with peanut or coconut gravy. It's soft like mashed potatoes, but fragrant and filling, and served every day across the country, never getting old, just like Italy's pasta or America's burger. You'll also find luambo, a stew of chicken, beef, or mushrooms, slow cooked in banana leaves until it melts like butter. Once reserved for kings, now loved by everyone. Or try pasho, a thick maize porridge paired with sautéed greens or grilled meat skewers. Simple, honest, delicious. Even street food like the Rolex, egg and chapati rolled together like magic turns heads and satisfies hearts. A full local meal costs just $1, cheaper than a small coffee in New York, but far more satisfying. Uganda's food isn't just tasty, it's a living memory of the land, the culture, and the people who welcome you like family.